So where can you find the very best commercial cleaning leads online that you can use for any of your marketing? Well, that is what you're gonna see in this video. And not only that, I'm actually going to show you how to use this platform to make sure that your commercial cleaning leads are exactly what you're looking for and that they're gonna work with your marketing. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I built a 7-figure commercial cleaning company from scratch, and it runs on less than 5 hours per week of my effort. If you also wanna set your commercial cleaning business up to run on its own without you, and you wanna scale to the high 6 and into the 7 figures, then check out the links in the description where you can get the clear system and clear path to do that for your business. Okay, so what you're about to see is what we currently use inside of our commercial cleaning company to find leads and to uncover who we should talk to in our market. It's really easy to find videos all over the internet about how to do cold calling, how to do email, but there's very few resources that talk about where do you actually figure out who to talk to? Where do you get these lists and these leads to do this? Now, to be transparent, I did do a video on a very cheap way that you can get thousands of leads, but this video is going to be about the very best, the highest response ones, the ones that we actually make the most money with. So I'm not only going to show you where we get these incredible commercial cleaning leads, but also 4 ways to use this platform to make these leads work even better for you. Okay, so ZoomInfo is where we have been getting the very best commercial cleaning leads in the entire market. And before we dive in, I'm going to be honest here. I do not know how ZoomInfo does this. The phone numbers they provide, the emails they provide, the content, all the other contacts they provide, everything that comes when you're trying to figure out who to talk to in your market to build your commercial cleaning business, it has been the very best out of any other platform we've ever tried. Now, what you need to know is that ZoomInfo has a ton of different products and solutions. They have some very large clients, as you can see down here. So what do we need to know as a local commercial cleaning company, or if you have a bunch of locations across the United States like we do? You can go here to products and go to sales. That is what you want to use as their sales platform. Now, in the link in the description that you have from watching this video will take you to this start a free trial page. And what that is going to do is get you set up and accessed into their database that I'm about to open up and show you. But just to be clear, when you go sign up for ZoomInfo, be sure that you're going for their sales product, okay? They've got a bunch of other stuff in here, but go for their sales. It's going to be the one that you want to use. Now, I'm going to go here because this is going to be inside the platform that you'll see. And now we're going to dive in and actually go into what are the ways that you can use this and how have we successfully sourced leads for building our business. So you'll notice the first thing here is we are in advanced search, and it is quite advanced. You're about to see why. You have all of these different filters, and there's actually more filters. If I click show all filters, quite a bit opens up here, right? And you can pin which ones you want to use most often. So there's going to be 2 approaches to using this advanced search that are going to help you. The first approach is if you want to create, say, a phone call list or an email list or a list to stop by and check on some facilities. It's like an advanced leads list that you know is going to have a very high response rate. So here we go. Let's make a list. First, we're going to start off with a job title and role. And we're going to filter it down more to location and things here in just a moment. But what we can do is actually type in, let's say, facilities manager, or you can just type in the word facilities. So anybody with the job title facilities is going to show up in here. Now, you may notice that we are going to hide people's information in here. I do not want to be the one responsible for blasting someone's name and information all over the internet. But you can see here already, we haven't done any filtering yet for specific roles, but you see like these little flames here that show up. Say this one shows up over the email address. This one shows up over the phone, and different ones. There's one for their direct phone right there. That just means they are known to be highly responsive on that unit. You will also notice it has their job title, the company that they're at, their general industry, and then an accuracy rating. You see you got A's and you got A pluses. So these are all things that we can filter for and build a very tight list that's going to be effective. Because one of the biggest wastes of time, especially if you go to other platforms that give you cheap and low cost leads, their data is not going to be that accurate. It may not even be the person that you want to talk to, much less have the right information to get a hold of them. Whereas here in ZoomInfo, we're going to be able to filter this down to the exact person we need to talk to in our market and know that it is the correct information. Okay, so let's jump back over to filtering this down more. So we've got people with the job title facilities in their name, that doesn't mean that they are a decision maker or anything. They could just be a regular maintenance tech or something like that, right? So what we want to do is we're going to say managers and above. You can see here it's starting to filter and whittle it down a little bit. We went from a lot more down to a lot less. Now we're going to put that up. Let's come down to the contact info here. So what do we want to do, right? Are we doing a phone list? So if we're doing a phone list, we can click mobile phone here, and it's going to say, okay, anyone with a mobile phone, and we can choose the accuracy of it, right? So we could go extremely accurate. It's going to whittle that list down a good bit, right? Or we can also add in a direct phone. There's also a third phone option here as well. So if we wanted to pull a phone list here of people in management roles that are within the facility maintenance job title, then we could call this list and know that we are most likely going to get really good responses and we're talking to the right person. And if it's not the direct decision maker, we know that they're going to know who it is. Now you can also take off the phone piece here, and you could just do, say, email. Right? If you are using something like Instantly. If you haven't seen our video on how we created a email campaign that generated over $500,000 in 1 month in quote requests, this is what we use to do that with Zoom Info. And we use this business email section here based on certain job titles. Now, this is another thing to remember. This is just one segment of a job title, right? Like there's more that you can do this. There's a lot more leads than this out there. We're just getting very niched here in this example. So anyhow, we got our business email. We can uncheck it and just have all this general information, right? So why would I not have any of this checked? It might be if you just want to get a good view of your entire market. What's the total breadth of it? And you might want to reach out in whatever item they have available with to contact them with. Now you've got your likely to engage piece here, right? So you can filter down to the people who are very highly likely to engage. Something you can do with that is you can create a first list that is just of highly likely to engage individuals within a certain job title. And then you can move it to where you want to include everybody for a different list, so that after you move through that highly active list, you still have the list of others that are still likely to engage. It's just they're going to be a little less than this first one. Next, you come down to company specifics. Now, we're going to go by a company name right now. There's a reason we'll use it at a different time. But if you want to target a certain industry, you can do that there. One of our favorite things to do is go by employee count. So let's say we don't really want to mess with any facilities that have less than 20 employees at them, for example, right? Let's see what that does. It doesn't change this number too much because typically if a facilities manager is involved, then it's going to be a pretty large facility. But let's say 100, okay, it'll whittle it down a little bit. So there's a lot of facilities with more than 100 employees in there. But you can see here as an example, you can set a range so that you know that as far as the individuals that you're going to be reaching out to, that they are a proper size of facility, because maybe you don't want to invest in winning smaller contracts, but you also don't want to waste your time trying to fight with a multi-billion-dollar company that is probably not going to hire you, or they have an in-house team. You can also go off of company revenue. I believe after using this platform that employee count is the most accurate. Now, let's make this local to you, right? Like, what's the point of going after all 165,000 of these, right? We need to actually make this practical. My favorite way to do this is to click in here and click the entire United States. And there's a reason for that, because then we can go off of zip code. So I'll type in my office's zip code here, 28803, and you'll see that really cut down our list, right? Just in my little zip code. Asheville is not a big area. But then because we put in zip code, we can put in a radius around it. And then the last thing that we want to do, that I like to do, is I like to say that the contact's office down here in location of is actually in, this radius area. You'll notice how that dropped from 500 something down to 380. That's pretty much what this is saying is I want to talk to facility managers or above, right, that are within 50 miles of that zip code, and they're physically present. Now, you can include any office, which would just mean that there could be a facility manager that works out of Houston, Texas, and they have an office here in Asheville, North Carolina, and they would be included on this list. And yes, I can reach them via email and phone and still sign a deal with them here in Asheville. That's perfectly fine. But if I want to have the best chance of having a highly effective list, then I like to whittle it down, right, to where I can go really deep with these 380 people. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but each of these facilities are very significant. And all it takes is winning just 2, 3, 4, or 5 of these to completely change the course of your business. So all that we do at this point is you can select all your contacts, or you can do the whole page, and you can export them into a list and use the information that you have and reach out. Now, that's the first way to use advanced search here in ZoomInfo. I'm going to show you the second way now. We got to clear out all of our filters here. Sorry if my computer is being a little bit slow. And we're going to go back to the top. What we did here is we used ZoomInfo to create a list of many different people in our market, but it just had one person per facility. It might have several, depending on the job title, it just depends. But let's say this. Instead of saying, show me this specific job title in my market, all those parameters, what if we said, I want into that one building. I want to know who to talk to get into that building over there. That is where ZoomInfo really shines. So what we do at this point is we go to company name first. And we want to leave it at current employees. You could go with past if you want. It's really wild how much information ZoomInfo has. But we could type in Mission Hospital. And actually, it used to be called Mission Hospital. It's now called Mission Health. We're going to hop in here. Now, what we have here is we can see there are 2,400 and some odd amount of individuals who work here at Mission Hospital. And you can either scroll through the list. You can see here, there's the vice president of facilities, right? Popping right up there. They're very responsive. Look at that. But if you can't easily find someone, especially if you've got to dig through so many contacts, you can, once again, now that we have the company name here, we can go back to the job title and role, and we can type it in, or we can even search departments, right? So I do know that facilities is typically under operations. This is generally the individuals who are going to be hiring us is going to be under operations. We can type in facilities management or select facilities management. So now we have 20 contacts here that are within facilities management at Mission Hospital, and I can do a email campaign or a phone campaign or just stop bys or whatever tactics I want to take to reach out and connect with these people. Okay, so that's the power of advanced search there. It's kind of like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, except on steroids. Now, the third extremely powerful piece here is what's called intent. What if you could know in your market who is looking for commercial cleaning services right now? How much would that change your approach? How much would that change your day as far as knowing who to reach out to first and what to say? Well, ZoomInfo has a piece like that, and it's right here inside of intent. Now, to be clear, there is no way currently with modern technology to know 100% for certain that someone or a company is looking for commercial cleaning services without actually being in that room with them. But what we have found is whenever we use this intent piece and put it into specific markets and reach out to those companies, we have a much higher response rate and a much higher win rate. I remember when we had our free trial with ZoomInfo going on, we tested this out and I just contacted the list that showed up in my market. And it was so funny because I reached out like it was just normal, just saying, hey, we're a commercial cleaning company. We're here to help you out if you need it, right? Nothing complicated. Well, one of the banks reached back out to me and said, whoa, just so happens we were just talking about this. Oh, well, what are the odds, right? That I just happened to reach out to you at the right time. That is what intent does. It knows what people are searching in that company. It knows generally what's being shared via email in that company. And it knows where they're at typically in some sort of decision process. So what we can do here is we can actually go to a location. And I have this selected right now to look at facilities. Anyone interested in commercial cleaning and janitorial services. So you can see it right there in that topic section. And then what you do is you can just simply select your market. But again, I could come in here to my market, select United States. I'm going to do my zip code option 28803. And then we got to enter it in. We're going to do a radius of 50 miles. And I have it set looking at the past 3 months here, but you can see how many other companies have been looking for commercial cleaning companies. It's got multiple pages here, right? Tons of pages. And whenever you click on these, you're able to trace you're able to go into the staff that ZoomInfo has on here and find the facility manager, operations manager, office manager, owner, whoever it is who's going to be able to help you get in there and do a quote. The other thing that I really like about this is it has a signal score and an audience strength. So signal score is how strongly have they been considering this? How much activity is going on compared to the past about this specific subject? So even though it's about commercial cleaning, they could be looking up commercial cleaning products. They could be looking up something related to it. They may not be looking for commercial cleaning services at this very moment. That's why I like janitorial services. It is a very high intent piece. But even still, we've had success reaching out to both of these. And generally the higher the score right here, the more likely it is that they actively are searching for what you have to offer. Now, the audience strength here is compared also to how many people in the past are typically looking this up or involved in this decision. Audience strength means there are that many more people in magnitude, right? So it's not really actually 4 more people or 3 more people, but if it was one person standing here as a symbol, that just means it's the same amount of people that are usually always looking at this, so it's probably not a big deal right now. But if you've got 4 or 5 going on, you can see this one right here, right? Bob Jones, University, 100 signal score, and it's got 5 people on it. That is someone that you would need to reach out to. And all that you need to do is click on them. It'll open up their company profile, and you can find the employee with that company to contact. So that's intent. It's extremely powerful. Now, number 4 is called websites. This is more than just a website, right? What this is code that you can put on your website that ZoomInfo can read, and it can know which companies were on your page, were on your website, for how long, and where were they at whenever they were doing the search. It tells you the number of employees, their revenue, their industry, all of these different statistics. Again, I could click on each of these companies and go find the specific employee that we need to talk to that's at that company. So in a way, it's even better than the intent piece because these are people who checked out your website and maybe they didn't make a decision yet, but if you were to reach out to them in whatever capacity you want to reach out to them with, they are already familiar with your brand and they've already shown some sort of interest in what you are doing. The really neat thing is you can actually tag these companies and have them show up on your intent page so that you can double cross-reference the strength of their interest in buying commercial cleaning services. You see, with ZoomInfo, not only is the information they give you the best, but the different tools that they have to help you prioritize who to reach out to, when to reach out to them, who's interested, who is maybe going to be less responsive. All of those different features inside of ZoomInfo make it such a powerful platform. This is the secret weapon of top-level commercial cleaning businesses and how they can grow so fast. Now, the neat thing with ZoomInfo, at least at the time of filming this video, is they do offer different tiers of payment levels. Because you don't have to have the intent piece, you don't have to have the websites piece, you can just have the advanced search piece. You just saw it. This is what we use in our commercial cleaning business to get the very best leads and to make sure that our outreach gets the highest responses from the right people so we can win more and more commercial cleaning contracts. Look, if you want the complete information on how to use ZoomInfo, go ahead and start your free trial with the link down below. You can actually pull some leads, I believe, for free for your company. Try it out, see just how well it works for you. It does take using it and actually reaching out, but the information you get is the best out of any other leads platform I've ever come across. If you want the complete blueprint to actually build your commercial cleaning company to 7 figures and to automate it to run on its own, it doesn't have to be at 7 figures to be automated. You can automate it in the mid 6 figures and even before then. Then check out the link down below where I give you that system. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe. I'm going to keep posting more and more helpful videos like these. But until next time, keep building.